Oh, it's this. I missed something. I prefer to maintain the pattern as best as possible. I'll make one compromise this time. For expediency. Oh, and look here. The steel array needs upgrading now. There. Steel is going to be one of the most difficult metals to produce. Yes. It looks like our iron problem is rectified. Now about upgrading our copper array, which is also long deserving of an upgrade. Here, this new row would be sufficient. Or perhaps not. Perhaps the problem is worse than I thought. There. Now try. Might as well start paving this. There. That increases walking speed, which thus increases efficiency. One single piece of ore taking up an entire inventory slot. Disgraceful. There, that's better. And this is a huge upgrade. Technically we don't need this part anymore, because we can just do this. Simple. Or this part. It's redundant for right now. We can upgrade it later when we need to. Now, I'm going to need to worry about oil refining eventually. Actually, sometime soon, since the necessary path of progress. Literally millions of ore here. Much higher than this fifth of a million here. And this one is even worse. It's almost a tenth of a million compared to this one, which is actually 2 million. So this is what, 1/20th of that? Pitiful. Yes, we would have been doomed if we would have stayed with this here. This stone is eventually going to be replaced by this one, which we don't even need a train for, actually. Or this one, for that matter. Look at this iron patch. That's 9 million. This one is only 1 million, so that's 9 times that much. This copper patch and that one there will last forever as well. So I feel like the next step would be to focus on oil. This could be potentially scary because we may need to add a coal belt onto this main bus. And if we do that, we'll need to revise everything, all of this. Or we could have a peripheral system that only applies to oil. With this enhanced power consumption, I'm sure the pollution is growing as well. Yes, I think I was only out to around here last time last session, and this one only to here. That's going to be a problem soon then. Fortunately, it's going to kill the trees, which will clear a path for us. Very good. Yes, and for almost all progression to come, we need oil. Looking at this, yes. Now this doesn't need oil, but it does need bricks and coal, strangely. And it's also necessary at some point. I think this module needs to go. Oh, these are expensive. Yeah, so we need bricks for the oil refining. Yeah, that should be enough. And now we can make oil harvesters, 3 for this, 4 for that one. We don't need this one yet. We can save that for later. Oh, these are expensive. And I think we can start with a single refinery. As for the plant itself, I'm pretty sure that's going to be here. It's right next to water, which will allow for more efficient advanced refining later. We can have the chemical plants be somewhere in here with the rest of them. So we refine the oil actually up here. We don't need all that room for just refining. And then we can pump the 3 raw to wherever they need to go. There should probably be a storage plant somewhere in here. And so here it is, conveniently close to the long-range power poles. There. And now we can begin our liquid processing. And for the refinery, there's a lot of room up here for it. We'll start with 1 since we don't even have that much raw oil to begin with anyway. And then we can store that product in separate tanks. We will have the light, heavy, and medium. The heavy is good for lubricant, which is good for advanced engines, the electric engines, as well as actually the fast belts, which will come later. Medium is good for making solid fuel, which is a replacement for coal in many cases. And the light is used for all sorts of things, mostly plastic and sulfur, which make up batteries and robotics. And so we can have this be here temporarily. I'm going to need to make modules for pipes and underground pipes as well. There, and oh, pff. There. Now for this really complicated routing system that I use every time, but is extremely extensible. There, and yes, this is going to be a problem if I don't fix it soon. So the first one should go here, and the second one should go here. The third one should go here. There. And so these will extend that way, and each one will contain a special element. Wait, what is this? I don't remember oil working this way. Only petroleum? That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Something has changed without my knowledge. Hmm. This is very strange to me. In that case, I'm going to ignore that. Well, fortunately now we only have one liquid to worry about, which thirds the level of complication. Very good. Now, about this. We can start researching these without any issue of not being able to use them. It looks like we might actually need another refinery to process all of this oil. And oh, look at that deposit. And that one, and I usually, yes, for extending this way, I usually have it be like this, where yes, so these attach to each other horizontally and in different lanes, as you can see.